Why are our sales stagnating? Why are we so invisible online? These two questions keep coming up in our client workshops every month. Hi, I'm Mark Joost, and this channel is all about your marketing strategy. Why are we so invisible? Well, the truth is your content doesn't fit. However, that's a bit too broad, isn't it? Let me share an example to explain. One of the companies we are working for is selling psychological tests, and it offers training to go along with them. By now, this company is generating 1,300 leads, that is 1,300 per year, without spending a single dollar on advertising. But what has been going on before? Sales had taken a sharp hit during the pandemic, and even after, the entire business was mostly dragging along. After we had completed a few technical projects for the company, our mutual trust had grown enough for me to dare sharing my thoughts on their marketing strategy. I just told the owner, I feel our content isn't really relevant to our clients. It wasn't just my opinion. You could see this in the embarrassingly low traffic numbers on their web pages. But we have done this expensive SEO project, he said. My client told me that some time ago, every single page had been optimized for SEO. I took a look at the documentation and quickly realized the SEO firm had simply optimized each page for the keywords already planned for those pages. In other words, they had just polished content which had already been there. The problem was, we were talking about things online that people simply didn't care about. How can disasters like this happen? In their early stages, most companies are growing fueled by word of mouth. In this stage, it doesn't really matter how you, the entrepreneur, would name your service or product. But that kind of growth eventually runs out, and these companies start trying to gain reach online. The old product names and the marketing messages are turned into PDFs, pasted into websites, and squeezed into webinars. Stagnation occurs because customers online aren't searching for terms which you had originally created. Did you come up with a clever original name for your service back then? Check SEMrush, Systrix, or any other keyword tool. Chances are the search volume for that name or topic is 0. We went on a quest for our client to find out what people out there are actually searching for. And here's the key if you want to do this yourself or hire someone to do it. Don't go and research keywords for your solutions. Instead, take at least one step back in the customer journey. Figure out what people with no idea about your solution would type in at the search engine prompt. Here's an example. If you're a therapist, you'll be disappointed to learn how rarely people search for systemic therapist. That's 250 times a month. Or psychotherapy practice, only 1,300 times a month in Germany. So, what are people searching for? Burnout symptoms, 43,000 times a month. They're searching for depression symptoms, 34,000 times a month. And depression test, that's 40,000 times. Depression test, in fact, is searched 160 times more often than systemic therapist. As an entrepreneur, you are so deep into your expertise that you will often overlook what your customers really think or what they are really searching for. Which steps do you need for a sound content marketing strategy? Before I tell you, let's see how my client from the beginning of the video managed to get 1,300 leads a year without spending a single penny on advertising. We did an open-ended content analysis and discovered that customers who buy psychological tests often want to take a free online test beforehand. For example, the search term personality test is searched for 31,000 times in a month. 31,000 times. Once we realized that not only was this a great search volume, but it also aligned well with the problem our solution addressed, we developed a scientifically based online test for our client. And this test is resonating perfectly with the target audience. To make sure this doesn't just sound like a cool list of keywords, let me explain the process which you as an entrepreneur should go through before spending a single cent on content, copywriting, paid ads or SEO projects. Number 1. Understand that your customers will never be able to guess the clever names you created for your solutions or services. Instead, look for the problems that your solutions solve. I used to tell my consulting clients, thinking in solutions is gold in consulting, but it's poison for your marketing. Your prospects aren't searching for XYZ consulting, they are searching for XYZ problem. Get into brainstorming mode and make a list of simple 2 or 3 word phrases that your potential customers might type into Google. In these brainstorming sessions, I also like to include ChatGPT because it has a kind of general knowledge from the internet. You could, for example, ask your private pool owner, what are some problems you are having with your pool in your garden? Often the system brings up a whole bunch of terms you wouldn't have thought of. Number 2. Run every single search term that makes sense through SEMrush, Sistrix, Answer the Public or any other keyword tool and let it suggest additional search terms for you. Number 3. Question each and every search term. Is the searcher, for example, just trying to navigate to a corresponding Wikipedia entry? The search phrase corrosion definition, for example, isn't a search term that's interesting to you as a plumber. The mental note that you should make is, it's not just about search volume. It's also about the client's intention behind the search term. Number 4, go through the best, most fitting search terms and think about whether you could combine them with others. Example, the word test, corrosion tests, or burnout tests. If you find something that fits your expertise, you could offer such a test online and collect leads, that is, email addresses. Or combine, for example, symptom plus keyword. And you will get, for example, a term such as burnout symptoms. People search for that 40,000 times a month just in Germany. You can also combine these keywords with typical high-interest keywords such as buy, order, download, book, or experiences. In the final step, from all these results, choose just 3 or 4 problem search terms that align well with your solution. And maybe you will find 2 search terms that describe your solutions a little more broadly than you have before. The rest of the content marketing process isn't really so much about corporate strategy or marketing strategy. You will find tons of videos online about content distribution, repurposing, or automation. Most companies are stuck in their solutions, while potential customers are searching for their problems. When someone asks me, should I write this next blog post about our solutions or focus on some customer problem, I will usually say, forget your solution. Ignore the product. Just focus on describing the customer's problem. Describe it better and in more detail than the customer could ever put it into words. That's always better than presenting some solution that the potential client doesn't even consider relevant yet.